If you're enjoying this video and you want to catch the whole thing, you can watch that at thirdeyechampagne.com or patreon.com/Kirsten Langston. Yeah, she's saying, I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know what you're doing. Is this an interview? She's sort of, I don't want to say befuddled, but like, this is not someone that has been paying attention to the world. Like, if you were like Donald Trump, she'd be like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Like, I don't know why you're asking me that. She says no. She says, I've been busy. You can't imagine how busy it is over here. I haven't even poured my champagne yet. Yeah, has no interest, really no interest in anything that's going on. Like in life, like for other people, she does not care. But she's asking, you want to know about Joan Crawford? I'll tell you about Joan Crawford. I know, what is she doing over there, right? Exactly. She's very busy. It's all she's telling me. She's telling me there's things I have to do. You wouldn't understand. She's like, you wouldn't understand. She's no. She, ooh, she got a lot. She got a lot to say. First thing she's telling me, Joan Crawford wasn't real. Joan Crawford was not real. She's saying, I was always Billy. I was always Billy. In my head, I was always Billy. Billie. She's making that very clear. She wants you to know how to spell it. Joan Crawford wasn't real. And she's saying, they called me Joan. They thought they made me, but I made myself. They didn't want to give women any credit. And now she's saying, oh, interesting. She says, Betty will tell you the same thing. She says, I know you're after me and Betty. She's like, I know that much. But she says, she's jumping all around. So I'm just going to give it to you. She's kind of all over the map here. She says, because I don't have very much time is what she's saying. She's like, hey, I'm going to give you everything. So she's saying, okay, so it's not an interview. I just get to tell you what I want to tell you. And I'm like, pretty much. No, not really an interview, no. So she's saying they all thought they made us. No, she says we made ourselves. We had to make ourselves. She says the studios can give you hair, they can give you makeup, they can give you clothes, they can make certain people date you. She said they'll even give you a car. They'll even give you a good car to drive around in. But they'll only put money into you if they know for a fact they're going to get money out. They don't, she says this, the studios never gambled. It was always a sure thing. Also, she's pissed. She's a little bit pissed. She does feel like she's been slandered. She also feels like she doesn't like that people said that she drank to excess, but she was mixing some kind of a medication with alcohol. I don't know if this is diet pills or what this is, but she was mixing something. But it's definitely some kind of a personality, like a disordered personality here, because she's telling me, well, I drank. Yeah, I drank to quiet everything down, to shut everything up. She's saying you can't imagine the pressure. She says you work really hard to get what you want, to get where you want to be, and then you have to work, especially in Hollywood, you have to work hard to keep yourself there. And she said, especially if you're a woman. Noise over here in the corner of my room. I don't know if you guys heard it. Especially if you're a woman. And she says the men didn't have this kind of pressure. The leading males did not have this kind of pressure. It was a boys' club, and they would give Gable a picture, even if the picture was going to flop. But she's even saying Gable never had a period where he wasn't having a good career. It was always a good career. It's the women that were clawing and struggling, and she says, you don't understand. And she's saying, I could have lost everything and they would have left me penniless. She's also telling me, you don't have friends in Hollywood. You really don't. It's very, very rare to have friends in Hollywood, extremely rare. And she said, I didn't have friends. I had managers. But she doesn't like when people talk about she drank so much. I don't know if people talk about that. I guess that was kind of in Mommy Dearest. They showed her passed out a couple times. Or maybe she's bringing it up because I'm pouring a drink. I don't know. She's another one. She's critical. Prefers me to quote unquote dress like a lady. Wrong one, Kirsten. Dress like a lady, and she's telling me right now, flat out, I'm not dressed. I'm not dressed like a lady. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Joan. Cheers, Betty. And hopefully, at the very least, Tennessee. I did a little pre-check on Truman. I don't know if I've ever read on him. I don't remember. I don't think I have, but the energy was bad. So we'll see. Oh God, that's good. Yeah, no, she is not, she does not approve of the outfit. She's calling it sloppy. Yeah, it sounds like Liz Taylor. I know, right? Yeah, she's calling it sloppy. But she said, if you are going to drink champagne like a lady, why didn't you dress like a lady? She likes the hair, hates the jewelry, hates the outfit, hates it. She says I look awful. This is no shit. She is not kidding. She says, you're not dressing to flatter yourself. What's the matter with you? Oh, that's hilarious. I don't know. She might be right. I don't know. I didn't really think about it, honestly. I was just trying to be comfortable today because of the back stuff. Remind me not to go to her for therapy advice, right? Yeah, she feels like she was slandered from day one. She says, "Oh, they love to hate me. They always love to hate me." Slandered from day one. And you know what she's saying to me? She said, I was just living my life and people judged me for it." And she's also telling me that she's sort of, Joan Crawford was a character, and there was a certain point where Joan Crawford took everything over. That she felt like there were two separate people. It's kind of a Marilyn Norma Jean thing, but she felt like I'm really Billy and I'm a dancer and I'm fun. She was fun, good at what I do, fabulous in bed. And then there's Joan Crawford, and that's the actress, and that's the star, and that's the one, that is the hair and the makeup and the whole deal, and goes out in public and speaks to people. And that woman is not messy or sloppy. She's gracious, she's smart. And at a certain point, she feels like it was just the same. Like she just became Joan. That Billy ceased to exist. Oh, thank you. I'd like some pin. Yeah, it's she's also saying, she says, if I can give you any advice, don't ever be beautiful because you get judged for it. And when your beauty fades, they'll throw you away. And you don't get to judge when your beauty fades. Somebody else gets to judge that. And when they judge that you are done, you are done. And she says that goes for life. That is not Hollywood. That's not pictures. And she felt that deeply, that she was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then all of a sudden they went, oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. Sorry. Even if she still felt beautiful, somebody told her she wasn't. And she said for her, that was when the career started to decline. She's also saying She's also saying that everybody could have affairs. And she had several. She says everybody. She says everybody. And she said there were very, very few faithful marriages in Hollywood at that time. Very few. And she's saying a lot of the marriages were arranged just for publicity or as a beard, either for the man or the woman or both. She says she never had any beard marriages, although she does suspect that Tone was that the second husband. She thought he was bisexual. Suspected. But she's saying same thing, you know, if they got wind, well, she wants to talk about Hedda Hopper, which is really funny. But she's saying if they got wind that you were having too many affairs or you were with too many people, dog again, that it could ruin your career as a woman. Not men, never into men, but she's saying, oh, he'll fuck his way through the entire production. He'd fuck the makeup girl and he'd fuck the leading lady and everybody in between. But if she did it, or if Betty did it, or if anybody else did it, and somebody got wind of it, they would ruin their career. She is talking about Hedda Hopper. She says Hedda was a fucking bitch. Her words again. Her words again. She said, I used her when I had to use her. I'd pretend to be her friend, but she was a fucking bitch. And she's telling me she feels like Hedda was a closeted lesbian. I don't know if this is true, but this is what she's telling me. And that she wanted to get revenge on women because she was closeted. This is her theory. I'm not kidding. And so she would write these hit pieces and she would pick certain female stars to go after. And she's also telling me the rumors. You wouldn't believe the rumors. The things that she is just spilling it. The things that were covered up. She's talking about car accidents where people were killed. She's talking about secret babies, abortions, miscarriages, babies with the wrong daddy. I have a story about Joan and Clark Gable, actually. Speaking of which, she's like, you have no idea. You know, they tell you to say your family was dead when really they were alive, but they were an embarrassment. I mean, it was just she's going, you have the whole thing. That she says they don't call it Tinseltown for nothing. Tinsel, right? Like she's like the whole thing is built on nothing. Everybody's career was a lie. Everybody lied about everything. Very few people were really together or in love or together for the right reasons. She is saying that Clark and Carol was the real deal. She's saying that Clark Gable and Carol Lombard, that was real. She's also saying she didn't think it was going to last. She says that, you know, it's a tragic that when Carol died, and she's also saying that he lost his shit when she died. She said that man wept. That man wept, and people were worried about him. They were worried about him committing suicide because he was so. Because they were pals, I guess. I mean, well, I know they were. They had an affair, but she says that was real, and she believes her marriage with Al was real. But she's also saying, she's so chatty. I love it. She's also saying that she feels like he loved her more than she loved him. She's saying, don't make a mistake. I loved him, but I was limited in my capacity to give love. She feels like, take this as you will, she feels like she gave the most love to her children. That's where she was able to put most of her energy. But she says that, yeah, they were all, that Carol, and she's calling, she must know each other. I'm sure they did. Carol and Clark was the real deal. And everybody was, there was no surprise because they just fit, is what she's saying. They fit together. She's also saying, she says, if you call Gable, he'll come. I bet he'll come. But she's saying that that was the real deal. That was the real deal for sure. But very few of them were. She doesn't believe that Betty Davis loved any of her husbands. She doesn't believe that Frank Sinatra loved any of his wives. She says Sinatra was a real piece of shit. Never liked him. And she said, she's she's using slurs, okay? She's using Italian slurs. She's saying, I knew that Italian slur here when he was coming up and he was nothing and he was too skinny. Yeah, yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. And she's saying that there were roles, well, two things. She's saying that she would never ever have done a movie with him, but she's also saying that there were movies they were both up for, and he would say, I'm not acting with Joan. Yeah, it's good tea. Yeah, no, this lady has vendettas. I tell you what, she really does. She really does. She's there's something very likable about her, but I also get the sense that, not gonna say Mommy Dearest was true. I'm gonna look at it. She's probably not gonna like that I look at it. But I do get the sense that she would turn on you. She would be like, what the F? She could be really, really nice one day and just really harsh the next day. But I get the sense just reading her right now that the reputation was not deserved. A lot of the time, she was just doing anything that a man would do.